Amruta bhavanti. Anyway, you have to give up your body, right? If not today, tomorrow. Because every one of us came with the return tickets in our hands. You know, people like us. When we land here, we come with a return ticket with us. So the immigration guy asks us, so when are you leaving? We Indians are used to ask people, आइए, घर पधारिए, यहाँ पर विराजिए, थोड़े दिन रहिए. This is the way we love to people be with us and we invite them. But here, when you are leaving, we say, just we came for just 1 week or 3 weeks or 2 weeks. Okay, show me your return ticket. And then we stand for 6 months. And once we asked him, hey, I said 3 weeks, why you gave me 6 months? He said, by default, that's the way. We came here with the return tickets in our hands. But the day he knows, we don't know. When one has to leave this world, no one can assure. The other day we visited some friend's house. Seems 2 twin sisters came here just for study. They came here and they were about to give the examinations within a week. Surprisingly, met with an accident. And one sister is gone. Second sister met with accident. Not able to move, no other wheelchairs. Just trying to recover slowly. No assurance for anybody, you understand? When that call comes from our brother Mr. Yamraj, the number is always behind us. He is with you, with me, with everybody. Holding our 4 rocks in his hand. And when the time comes, then he says, my friend, come on. Done. That's it. You try to escape from his clutches. No one literally can do that. I had a funny story once upon a time. Somebody was telling. Seems that there was a great person who makes pictures. One beautiful sculptor. And who makes wonderful pictures. Exactly as they are, thus he used to make. And he was very much proud of his own abilities and skills. And one day when he did a good puja, so God appeared and then he wanted to give a boon. But this guy wanted to know how long I am going to live. God said 16 days. 16 days more. That's all. God said, that's it. Then he said, let me see how God will do it. I will make my replicas. So many replicas of mine in different postures. And then let me see how he will take me. At least he need to identify me, right? The rule of God of death is like, once he touched one, he has to take. Otherwise, he should not touch. Wrong touch is not permitted. Then he will be at fault. So he said, he went to his basement and started making the pictures just like him. Some like sitting, some standing, some bending, some sleeping, some, just in different postures. There is somebody is taking, somebody is just trying. He made so many pictures like that. And then the day, when exact after 16 days, after 16 days, on fine Monday morning at 9:46, I'm going to take you guys. He said, and he said at 9:46, the time fixed. If 9:46 is done, and he will not be touched. He cannot be paid. So he said, he made all the arrangements, went to his basement at 9:40, and he accommodated as a picture or as a toy in between all of them, and he also just became a toy like 9:40, 9:41, 42, 44, and then Yamadutas have come in. Because for this type of guys, Yamaraj will not come, Yamadutas will come. Yamaraj come only for VVIPs. Some Yamadutas have come and they searched for the person here and there, but they were very much confused because every picture looks like a real boy, real person. But they didn't have any clue. Immediately they called up, their master, the boss, Raj, they're so sorry sir, we could not find any person here. And there are so many pictures of that guy, and we really didn't know how to pick him up. And once we touch, we are not supposed to leave him, but if we touch a wrong thing, then we'll be fired. So what can we do, sir? And then Yamaraj asked how much time is remaining. 1.5 minutes, sir. That's okay. That's where you are, That's why you became the slaves and I became a master. And so the Yamaraj came and just he saw the whole room very beautifully decorated with so many pictures of the guy. And then he said, my God, how beautifully this guy made all these things. I don't think that any human being can ever make this sort of things unless he really blessed. And even such a blessings were not given in recent years to anybody. Sanction was there. So I'm sure that it must be done by a great person like Vishwakarma. It's only Vishwakarma who can do this sort of things. And probably all these things were made by Vishwakarma only. And we start praising Vishwakarma. But this guy is one among them. When he made all these things, how this guy can praise the Vishwakarma? It was 9:46 on dot, and when Yamaraj was praising that Vishwakarma to a greater extent, he said, no, it's me who paid. That's why, my friend, I appreciate you. Come on. So, some cause, some kind of things will happen, and then the person has to quit, has to give up, has to go. And bodies cannot be protected, preserved. They are pretty much temporary. But soul should not go. Though Veda says that there is no death to the soul, but forgetting his own place, forgetting his own abilities, and becoming free to the nature is itself is a death, is more than a death. We came down here, we who are supposed to be with God always, in an eternal abode, with all greatness and with all good sankalpas. We are supposed to be with God, but unfortunately we are caught up here, with the nature, and forgetting every ability of ours, and really not able to have any control over this body, and we are sucking up here. I think what severe death than this we need. This itself is a big death, you see. Having the knowledge and not able to be with God itself is a death. Having eyes and not able to see the object right in front of us itself is blindness. Having the knowledge and not able to be with God itself is death. Realize this, my friend. Come out of this death and come out with wisdom. That is called Dhiratva. Dhiya Ramate iti Dhira. Dhiraha pretya asman lokat amruta bhavanti. Who become wise will become eternal souls. We are supposed to become eternal souls. Be with body or be without body, that's a different issue. Upanishad doesn't say that you have to give up the body and go there. But when you are permanently going there, then you have to become a part of God. Then you have to be there, a part of this place. But while here, understand that. Realize your greatness and do accordingly. That's what is required. So for which we need to know that God is pretty much with us. In and out, every object is with us. That God is only one. There are no many gods. God will be always one and one only. Let people call him in any form, in any way, with any name, and let them see in any form of their life. When I say God is in everything, I think every form becomes his form, right? And you see here, that also becomes his form. You see that also becomes form. And this also is form. And this floor is also his form. And the light, and the roof, and the tree, bird, and animal. Every object with his presence in and out becomes a part of God. And nothing without his presence anywhere. So any form is good for him. Any name also is good for him. Upanishad, in one of its mantras beautifully says, Neti. I mean, there is no limit for him. You say 100, still 101 remains. You say 1,000, 1,001 will remain. You say 1 million, still is beyond that. You go to any level and still he is beyond that. Iti na, no limit. You take something, that also becomes his form, still more. You say any name, that becomes his name, still more. That is what God means. Vishnusahasranama stotra, in that sense, is of great help for us because it says the greatness of God in many forms. The very first name itself is pretty much enough, in fact. Because what is the first name in Vishnusahasranama stotra? Vishwam. Vishwam. What does it mean? Vishwam means full, complete. He is complete. God is complete. With what? With the shape, with the knowledge, with the abilities, with qualities, with all these objects. He is always full. I don't understand that, my master, please. Can you explain it to me? Then came 999 names. Our Vedaji beautifully said, 25 people should sit together and chant it. It is, every person chanted 25, it is equal to 25 times, each person chanted. But I say, not 25 times. It is 25 into 25. Because when I get, and my voice is spreading, and it's in the ears of 25 people. And when the second person chanted, again 25 times in 25 years. And again third person chanted 25 times, and it is in 25 years. Can you count the number then? Having limited keys on your keyboard in computer, how many links you can make out of them? And how many functions you can do produce out of that? The same thing. So though there are 1,000 names, which you call as Sahasranama, it's not one Sahasra, illimitable. Sky is the limit. You can have many limits there. Take any name that becomes his name. That will be Sahasranama. It's a very, very powerful stotra, my friends, because it's not written by somebody. Understand? There are many namas, there are many Sahasranama. There is Rama Sahasranama written by somebody. There is Krishna Sahasranama written by somebody. There is Lakshmi Sahasranama written by somebody. There is Sita Sahasranama written by somebody. There is Lalita Sahasranama written by somebody. There is Durga Sahasranama written by somebody. As you know, nowadays there are Sahasranamas for everybody. Even I have a Sahasranama, my own. You know. And there are some people behind me who are just banging my drum. And then I start writing a Sahasranama on my own. And if I do not know properly, and I go to a person, pay some him, just ask him to write some Sahasranama. I think there are so many Sahasranamas written by so many people. Vishnusahasranama is not written by somebody, no. It is collected by Vedavyasa. Collected from whom? From great sages. Rishibhi Parigitan Tani Vakshyami. Even those rishis did not write those names on their own, but they were doing some kind of meditation, seeking the greatness, seeking to understand the greatness of the universal power, and they had a vision. And with the vision, they had an experience. And that experience gave them unspeakable joy. The joy went filled up in their hearts, and just it was overwhelming, flowed out. And then it came out of their mouth as a word that became a mantra. That's all. It's not something what they wanted to write or something. No. It came out on its own. So it became a mantra. And he was chanting that as his lifetime achievement, and he was passing it on to his disciples in a lineage. The great sage Vyasa collected all those mantras from them and then made it a beautiful garland type and gave it to Vishnusahasranama. And from Vishnusahasranama it came to all of us. A gem, a diamond, more than that. That's why we always say, keep at least Sahasranama Stotra book in your pocket that saves you from so many things, so many miseries. Just by keeping the book, not really knowing what it contains. You may not be chanting, still it is fine. You know, in, I don't know, probably you will be knowing everything. Some people, they take Tayatul. What do you call that? Talisman? Okay. You know, all of you know talisman? I mean, they write some letters on a small copper sheet and keep it in a box, and then they tie it either to your shoulders, or they may tie it to your buttocks, or just they may ask you to keep in your neck or something like that. You know, that's called one kind of tie to yantra. And we don't know really how much he wrote on that, and you know what he really wrote on that. But it works a lot. When there are some letters, you know, having that much of power in them, and really you don't know what it is, but still it works for you. And Vishnusahasranama You know, it is a collection of so many mantras that talk about the unspeakable truths of this universe. And if you keep that book in your pocket, I think that itself saves you. Read one mantra at least, it's really great. Read one sloka, wonderful. You know, read one page, it's great. And if you are able to read the whole stotra, you just can't imagine. But read with faith and love, with the devotion and dedication. That is not there with this Swamiji that I stopped reading. Don't take that excuse. Even without them start reading. Even without them start reading, they come automatic. Now, Vishnusahasranama is really great. I am very happy that so many here in this community are chanting the stotras, or made a habit of chanting the stotras just once in a month all together, and many of you are reading it on a daily basis too. One lady said, I am chanting every day Swamiji. I really felt happy. It's a great privilege to chant the stotra, being here. And you have a nice temple here, nice community here, nice volunteer here, nice people to inspire you, and you are doing really good job. Probably I think that's the reason why Venuji wanted us here, and we are here and observing the interest that you have and the devotion you have here. We appreciate that and we pray for you all. And let God bless great wisdom. Let God shower His grace on this community to be in His service always. As our Sriman Sarmaji said, on the name of Jet, we need to have some kind of organization to make the thing happen. So we started a couple of organizations here called Jet and VT Seva. Some to do spiritual activities, some to do service activities as well. But the ultimate goal is to serve God in different ways. Some people think, doing puja is service to God. But we also believe the presence of God is in every object. And if you feed a person who is hungry, is a kind of service to God directly, because God is in him and this is a service. And if you take the care for a patient, God receives the service. And if you help the cattle, God will be there in that and then receive the service. And if you take care of a plant, God is in that and receives your service. I think when God is in everything, wherever there is a need, and if you are able to attend to that, and that is a service to God directly. The service to God. But it has to be felt. People don't think that I am serving God. People usually think, I am helping these guys. As if you are great, you are having so much and he is not having anything. But we never say it is a help that we are doing. God, gave us a chance to serve Him in this way. God blessed us to use some abilities just to serve in that way. It's a great privilege to serve. It's a chance that we got to serve God in that way. That's how we take and started doing some activities here and also back in India. And in India, in a state called Andhra Pradesh, we started schools for tribal children who are in far remote areas like Albany district. In the deep forest, we constructed some schools and we are teaching them the good education, and along with the tradition, along with the spiritual subjects. So they are coming up with flying colors. Since 2 years they are appearing for 10th grade examinations, and all are just coming out of the school successfully with A ranks. That means 500 and above out of 600. That's how they are coming. Because it was very, very far remote area. Still they are doing good job like that. And we started a few schools for fishermen children after the tsunami happened. And we are just trying to give some kind of education to the children who are visually challenged and totally blind. Exclusively for blind children, there are no colleges in India so far. And it's probably we feel it's a privilege to help them, to serve them in a way, starting a degree college for such children. And Usmania University came forward in affiliating a college with them and giving the required support. But the uniqueness in this college is, every student holds a laptop and learns the subject and goes to the examination and gives the examination with laptops, which is still not there in India, even for the children who are having big eyes. And they have a package called JAWS, which is a screen reading package, and so it is provided to every student and they use it. Just use it. As all of you know well, India is number 3 in women cancers. So we took up a project of educating women and also conducting screening camps for women for cervical and breast cancers. We educate them basically through our volunteers, conduct screening camps, and then give them needed help, needed support in going to the doctor, getting through the treatment part, not totally, but to some extent. If it is a medication, yes, our organization will do. Or if it is a surgery, our organization will help them. And if it is the radiation part, yes, our organization will support them. But if it goes to a level like chemotherapy, then we won't really entertain that because it's involved with a lot of financial involvement and like that. But we are trying to do some kind of service in those areas also. We always invite people who are with similar frequencies to come, join, support. Support doesn't mean that you have to give money. Support in many ways, okay? Support morally is a great support. And if you know a skill, if you are a doctor, when you come to India, spare a little time and to just serve to such people. That itself is another great help. And if you are a person who are in education field, then you are with such people, just help them in giving some educational stuff. That itself is another great help. Communicate this message to some people who are interested. That itself is a great help. There is a saying in Telugu, you may not be able to feed, but let's show a person who can feed. పెట్టకపోయినా పెట్టే ఇంటిని చూపించుట. If you are able to really participate in such services, it's marvelous. No, at least communicate that here is some activity going on like that. That itself is another great service. You have so many venues where you can extend your cooperation and your services. And that itself is again a real service to God. So we feel that doing good activity is a kind of service to God. Most of us know a slogan. You know what the slogan? Most of us use Manava Sevaye. How many of you believe in that? We don't believe that. You know why? Who will spoil the water? Who corrupts the air? Who pollutes the air? Who kills the animals? Who cuts the trees? Who causes big breach to ozone? Now you have to tell me, Manava Seva ye Manava Seva. Huh? We don't say Manava Seva ye. We turn it other way around. Madhava Seva ga Sarva Prani Seva. When God is in everything, I think serving any object to keep it in its own place, I think that is service to God. Think every activity you do, every service you do becomes His service and can take care of all creatures. You have to survive on this planet. You are not the last creature, you are not the last generation on this earth, right? Before you, there are millions and billions of generations, and next to you also again the generations continue, for which you have a role. You have a responsibility, which you have to realize and start doing. Take care of earth, take care of water, take care of air, plants, animals, of course. Take care of human beings too. Not Manava Seva ye. No. Manava Seva Kuda. That also becomes God's service. Not necessarily only Manava Seva. Understand? When you say Manava Seva ye, nothing else. Yeah. It says that nothing else is service to God. So we have a slogan like Madhava Seva ga Sarva Prani Seva. Serve all beings as service to God is our motto. This is our motto. And for this we work. Our organizational motto is serve all beings as service to God. And we have one more thing like worship your own, respect all. You must have born as X. Doesn't mean that you have to hate the Y. Though you born as that, and it doesn't mean that you need to worship everything. You born in one, you worship that. There are so many other things, you respect them, don't worship. And don't insult. Don't put them down. This should be our way of living. So, taking these two as our mottos, we are just trying to do some kind of service. Work with few dedicated, devoted, and generous philanthropists, and doing some community services and spiritual services and educational services. And we have some Vedic schools where all the original Vedas are taught to children, and Agamas are taught to children in a very, very traditional way. And of course there are regular schools where the students study the common subjects. You can go to our website, Jeeyar.org, or you can go to vtseva.org, or you can go to jetusa.org, and you can find the full details of the different services that are going on. And I'm so happy that here you are also chanting Vishnusahasranama Stotra on a regular basis, and let some such good activities go for the betterment of this world. We may do very little, but its impact is immeasurable. When you collectively do such a great activity, I think it definitely adds lot of good. And I hope that we should continue. And we pray God that it should lead you to gain more and to give more to the society. You will do. And I am happy Sriman Venuji here is very, very instrumental in bringing the community together for good causes. And we also pray that a nice place here, as this temple, is really helping this community to come together and exchange their ideas and also sharing the things. Let the mission of God work, maybe slowly, but gently. God bless you all. Jai Srimanarayan.
Thank you so much for this interpretation. Thank you so much, Swamiji, for this interpreting insight into Vishnusahasranama and service all beings, serve all beings as service to God, worship your respect all. That was indeed, as Swamiji is explaining about, let's all make one step towards, at least today, let's all pledge to make one step towards that motto of what Swamiji has said. And I urge from the bottom of my heart and request you all to make Jeeyar.org or jetusa.org as your homepage in your Internet Explorer or your best browser. I think that's the least, at least, that we can start doing as the first step towards, and probably I think that would lead us in the direction of serving to the missions of His Holiness Sri Swamiji. Just one quote while I was hearing to the discourse from Swamiji, it recollected one thing from the past, that Bhagavat Ramanuja was known as Tirupave Jeeyar, and most of them who participated in the Dhanurmasa Vratam recently, they all are aware of who is called as Tirupave Jeeyar. That is nothing but Bhagavat Ramanuja. And with no doubt or hesitation, we can say His Holiness Sri Swamiji as Sri Vishnusahasranama Jeeyar. Because today, if we all know about what the significance of Vishnusahasranama is, and especially, I think I have heard to Swamiji in '84 speaking about Vishnusahasranama. I think that was my last memory I can go back to, and I was a kid, and I was raised knowing about Swamiji right from my childhood. And Vishnusahasranama was the discourse that I kind of recollect going back to. So if anybody knows Vishnusahasranama today to that extent, it is only because of the efforts that Swamiji has put in taking that to each and every family. Not to limit just to say Vishnusahasranama Swamiji, it doesn't mean that Swamiji just does that, but and at that time frame, we are not in that time frame of Bhagavat Ramanuja, but we are lucky today to have the form of Bhagavat Ramanuja here, giving us the insights of the Upanishad Rahasyas and the insights of all our scriptures and Vedas. With no delay, as I said in the agenda, we wanted to felicitate you in the local from the Albany Capital District area. May we proceed to Swamiji? Thank you. May I request Dr. Govindaraju Garu and Mrs. Govindaraju Garu, please come on the dais. And this recognition is only towards the service that they have been contributing to the society in the Capital District area, and it goes in line with the service activities what Swami has just conveyed in the discourse. Govindaraja. Dr. Govindaraja is a physician here. By profession, Govindaraja is a profession physician, and he also is or was a trustee member of the country. A lot of efforts have been put on the current cultural center that we are rightly enjoying here within the community is because of
I think we consider ourselves as very, very lucky to be present here. As we know, we came to this country with 2 suitcases and $4 in pocket. We made a good achievements here and established ourselves very well. And I, like Swami just said, we come and go. But to invest in any infrastructures, like Hindu temple and Hindu cultural center, to spread, which will stay forever, but we don't. And this will, like Swamiji already said, that to propagate the Hindu culture and the traditions to the children to come in the future for a long, long, long time. I think this is the best investment. I thank the Lord and Swamiji for giving the chance to invest in this kind of structures here. Thank you very much.
May I request Jayant Kumar, Mrs. and Mrs. Jayant Kumar, if he's here. Jayant Kumar is the current chair of the temple, or any representative if he's not around. I have seen him. He was the one who received Swamiji at the temple, and also he took the blessings of Swamiji. Jayantji? Yeah. Anybody, Bala or Ram? Ram Lalkota is another instrumental, is the board of trustees, I think, for the cultural center here. The third person that we want to recognize today is Dr. Swatantra Mita and Srinivas Mita, Mrs. and Mrs. Mita, if anybody is here. Okay, I don't see. Muralidharanji, can you please speak the moment on their behalf, if you don't mind? Besides this, this event was possible because of 5 volunteering groups that we have working on the back for making this program a success today. And I really wanted to thank each of those groups, right from the welcome group, who have arranged all the kids, gathered all the kids together in front of the cultural center to invite and welcome you. And we have a friend desk facility right outside who has been contributing to taking all the email addresses and contacts and enrolling them into the local corporate group. I hope we have got, in case if you have not dropped in your email address, just drop it while you leave, and please do enjoy the prasadam before leaving. So the other group that has been working again, prasadam, lots of effort. Dr. Jeeyar has taken the initiation in putting the food into today's efforts. A group of volunteers that day, it's not one person, it's about 10 to 15 people who came together for cooking to 250 people today. I thank the food coordinators, the friend desk coordinators, the welcome coordinators, and the Daya we see here have been taken over by another group for getting things together, arranging the mic system, things like that. I just wanted to thank each and every one of them. And thank you once again to every one of you for making this event a success. I don't call that it is because of me that I have invited Swamiji. No, it is because of all you. It is devotion and dedication that you all have towards. And God has listened to that and sent a Mahapurusha, an Acharya, the Jagat Guru, Jagadacharya, His Holiness Sri Swamiji, to our local Albany area, just to uplift all of us, to overcome all the problems in the locality. And Swamiji, thank you very much once again for the Mangala Shasnas and everything that you do. And finally, this when we requested for Swamiji, it was Jet USA who has actually worked out the tight schedule for making this event possible. So I thank Jet USA, Gattu Garu, and Sharma Garu, and everybody who is involved in making this event possible. Finally, let me ask Raghu Mudumbai. He is the joint secretary for Jet USA. He is the secretary, I'm sorry, for the Jet USA to say a few words.
It's truly an honor to see all the devotees together listening to some of the greatest secrets from Vedas and Upanishads to be to us. And this has been made possible with efforts of Sriman Venu, Gopal Garuji, and all the volunteers and groups you mentioned. We request Sriman Venuji to receive the blessings from His Holiness Chinna Swamiji on behalf of all the devotees and volunteers who work towards. Jai Sriman. Yes, I request you all to please stand up and say thank you, Swami. Jai Sriman.
May I request at least one representative to come forward from each group. Sangeeta and Neelima took care of the front welcome party. And from front desk, it is Sudha and Triveni. Somebody can please come onto the dais and take the moment of Swamiji. Can somebody please put a word to the food group? Somebody, Shiva Vatikonda or Jita Naidu Jita. Somebody to please ask them to come to the dais for taking the Mangala Shastra. Sudha.
Okay.
Stage. Staging, Harish. Is Pankaj around? We wanted to recognize Pankaj for helping with the stage. So there are a lot of other groups involved. I'm just taking on